Summer Games Fest announcements, mate. We opened up the show with a banger. It was a solid opening that made me think that it was going to be a solid show, right? We started with Lego Horizon Adventures, a game that was like heavily leaked. Like, this was not a shock at all. What was a shock though, even though this leaked, I was sort of on the fence about it actually being real or not, is that Lego Horizon Adventures is coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is mental.
I love that it is, but it's like, it's interesting it's not coming to Xbox at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Did you?
It's not coming to PS4 either, which seemed odd.
I think it's time to leave those other consoles behind.
I think the time to leave the other consoles behind was, the last time they released a game that would benefit from the PS5. This does not appear to be one of those. But yeah, you're probably right. Well, interesting game.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, a Call of Duty, you can release on you kind of have to release on last gen, because an adult is like, they're like, I'm not buying next gen. I don't have to buy next gen, da-da-da-da-da. If you put COD on current gen, eventually they'll fold. They won't straight away. But if you're a kid and your friend Billy from down the road is playing Lego Horizon Adventures and you can't because you only have a PS4, you can be damn sure that he is yelling, screaming, and bashing his little head across the floor until mummy and daddy buy him a fucking PS5. That's why it's not on PS4.
Yeah, you're probably right. Gee, that sucks.
Yeah, man, it's dirty. It's dirty tactics. But
the game itself looks good.
It looks very good. It looks very different from any sort of Lego game that we've gotten before. It looks more like the Lego movie. Like the movie, not even the Lego movie game. Like, the Lego movie game is like every other Lego game. Just the way the characters move, the way the world sort of like builds and all that sort of stuff. It feels like they're emulating the movie more than they're emulating a Lego game. Which, I don't know, from what I've seen, people have played it, and like people who went in being like, okay, I'll try. It's a Lego game. I got the appointment, better play it. But they've walked away going, wow, really good. Got to the end of my hour with it and wanted to play some more. I'm like, all right, cool. That feels like that's enough for me to give it a go. After that, did you hear what the Horizon people were tweeting on X? They're like, man, no. They're like, with Lego Horizon Adventures on the Switch, man, like, I think it's time. Like, we'd really love Aloy to be in Smash Brothers. I'm like, oh man. She counts now. She could be.
It's just one of those things. I think Aloy's fucking amazing. It's just like, I think that's a great call, putting her in Smash Brothers. But there'd be a lot. I just feel like it should have been like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's very weird time to be in gaming. It? Very strange. I hope it happens.
I think if they want Aloy in a Smash Bros, it's time to dust off PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale and make a sequel. There's more than enough. You could put Spider-Man in there, Nathan Drake, Aloy, Kratos, old Kratos. You know what I mean? You could try this time. Like, really try. You know what I mean? We know Snake works in a fight in that type of game. He's in Smash Bros. Like, he would work.
I wish that game had another chance. I really do.
Yeah. The problem is if it happened today, it would be like full live service. You'd be like multiverses, but like way more expensive. Yeah, wouldn't be free to play. You'd be paying to get in.
You'd be paying per character or some bullshit.
They'd be like, we're so good, we're making it $60. And the first battle pass is $30.
Pretty sure with the last one, if you brought a copy of the game, you even got it on like PS Vita or something. Like,
yeah, it had the cross-buy thing, yeah.
Oh man.
Bring that back. All right, next we got to look at a game that a lot of people forgot even existed, and that is the Quidditch Champions. So basically, they took the game mode that should have been in Hogwarts Legacy and made a whole game out of it. So apparently, this is the reason there wasn't a Quidditch mode in Hogwarts Legacy, is because this game was in development at the same time, and they didn't want to step on each other's toes. I get that, makes sense.
I also think it would have cost more money to develop in Hogwarts Legacy, because Hogwarts Legacy looks like a game from this decade. Quidditch looks a little rough, to be honest. I think it'll be fun, though. I don't disagree with the fun factor.
I think the reason it looks the way it does is because I think it's trying to emulate that fantastic Quidditch game from like the early 2000s, like the Quidditch game on the PS2, right? That's what they're trying to twig people into, like, oh yeah, dude, when I was growing up, this Quidditch game was the balls. This game looks so much like it. It reminds me so much of it because, like, sure, the characters look a little bit rough. I'm sure the gameplay will be a little bit rough, but like, I mean, the stadiums themselves look cool. It looks to have a lot of variety, a lot more than like you would have expected from like a Quidditch game. Like the fact that you can partake in the Quidditch Cup with like all these fictional characters that are referenced in the books and the lore. It's like they haven't half-assed it. It looks like they've actually put quite a bit of effort into it.
I think it'll be a high quality game. I just think if it came out before Legacy, it would have been the most impressive thing since sliced bread. It's coming out after Legacy, and it's like, oh, it's got to follow that. I don't think it'll have a problem. I think it'll sell. I think it'll be played. I think it's of high quality. I think it's detailed, and it's just the trailer. I don't think served it as well as it could have. But hey, I'm not probably its target audience either. To be fair.
After that, we got to look at No More Room in Hell 2. That's in early access. Then we got another trailer for Star Wars Outlaws before we got the full deep dive at Ubisoft Forward. Whew. After that, we got another game that was heavily, heavily leaked. Unfortunate for some people, but not for me. We got to look at Civ 7. Well, actually, we didn't get a look at Civ 7. We got a shitty CG trailer that said gameplay later on. Yeah. Then we got to look at Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Looks really good. And from all the previews that have been going up, so many of the previews are basically making this sound like this is the be all end all of Dragon Ball games. Like they've gone like, there's like previews being like, oh, by the way, if you play as a weak character against a really strong character, that is like, so say you're playing as, you're not going to know any of these names, but the people listening, hopefully they will. It's like if you play as Krillin and you're fighting Super Saiyan God Goku, you're going to get your ass handed to you. It's going to take a lot of skill because his punches will actually hit you twice as hard because in canon, he is a character that if he smacks you, you will feel it. Like they've gone that deep in the campaign to be like...
This is what video games are missing. You don't have to ultra balance every fucking
game. Like if you're playing as a weak character, you will get stomped unless you are skilled. Like if you're better than the person who's using the super strong character, you'll probably get the dub. But yeah, otherwise like characters are at a power level that is accurate to their power level in the show. That's what's been
really like that
everywhere. And yeah, like a lot of people are like, hey, playing this game is like watching the anime. Like the way cutscenes happen, the way the fighting feels. So I'm keen. Like I was like, I'm always going to play a Dragon Ball game. I do like the Budokai series, and this is if people are like, oh, this is the new Budokai. I feel like it's the spiritual successor to Budokai. It's in that series, but it's not Budokai. It's not Budokai Tenkaichi 4 like we want it to be. It's the Coke's newest flavor. It's Sparking Zero. Like I think it's going to be really good. I'm keen to jump into it. Then we got to look at, for me, like simultaneously the most exciting and disappointing thing that was on the stage. We got to look at Batman Arkham Shadow. The problem I have is it looks great. Like the characters look good, the story looks interesting. They're pulling in characters that like don't step on the established canon, that are interesting, that would be actually... Wait, does it step on canon? No, it doesn't. No, because Arkham Asylum takes place after this. So canonically, this takes place after Arkham Origins, before Arkham Asylum. So yeah, it looks really good, but it's a fucking VR game that is exclusive to a VR headset. So the cost of entry is absolutely disgusting. And I just wish it wasn't exclusive, because like I could just play it on a PlayStation VR, you know what I mean? Like, but no, it's exclusive to something. It's just so annoying. I just wish it was a proper third person action like Arkham series game, but who knows? Maybe the fact that Suicide Squad has absolutely and utterly bombed, they might actually now, like, Rocksteady have come out and they've said, hey, we're making a new game. Like they've already said they're working. Well, actually, they're helping them develop the new Hogwarts Legacy game that wasn't even announced yet, but they came out and said they were helping them develop it. So that's great. So now we know there's another Hogwarts game coming, which was probably going to happen, but also there's all that contention around that game. So to have that confirmed is very interesting, especially since it was just sort of like we fucked up Suicide Squad. We're working on this Hogwarts game, but then we're going back to do another single player game. That isn't live service.
I thought they were making more shit for Hogwarts Legacy, but it's actually a sequel.
No, it's a sequel. It's like proper developed sequel. That's what they're helping with.
I thought it was punishment for Suicide Squad was my first thought. But maybe, because like, no matter what fucking Warner Brothers says, it's the most sold game of last year. Mm-hmm. Like, they're probably wanting to put a rush on the sequel. You know what I mean? Bring it from a 5-year dev time to a 3 or 4-year dev time.
Well,
it's still gonna be so long till we see that game.
Well, I mean, yeah, look how, like, the original was rumored for fucking years before we ever seen anything.
I think I was in high school, man.
Yeah, we got leaked character creation, like, 4 years before we got an official trailer, which was freaking insane. And it looked exactly like it did. Like clearly they were doing it for, like, time. But again, they were building it from the ground up as well. They have an established world, they have an established look, they have an established feel. So hopefully,
if the second game's still set in the same like Hogwarts and things like that, like you got the castle's not changing.
Yeah, I feel like the castle will stay effectively the same. They'll probably do it at Hogwarts. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it'll be quicker. I think it'll be quicker this time.
Yeah, no, you've made some good points. It'll just be a matter of like, does the story require some new areas and things of that nature, I guess.
You know what? I think it'll be quicker, but I think it'll be next gen.
I think next gen's gonna be earlier than like the rumors about Xbox shooting early. I feel very strongly that'll happen.
I agree.
I think they'll bring on the next gen. I think the advantage of the current consoles though is I think when the games are cross-gen, I think these consoles will be able to hold up for a lot longer.
Yep.
Like
I agree.
SSDs and things of that nature. The Series S, I think at some point Microsoft's going to have to break the parity clause. But anyway, that's not what this show's about. But
yeah,
it's an interesting thought.
Yeah. After that, we got a look at Street Fighter 6, their next lot of DLC. They're bringing in Fatal Fury characters, which if you're a Fatal Fury fan, that's probably very exciting for you. I enjoy Fatal Fury, but I was also kind of like, oh, that's cool. I don't know. I feel like Street Fighter's I feel like they need to branch out with more big licenses and stuff like that. Like we got like a Spy cross-family sort of like crossover in February of this year. So it feels weird that they've gone from like big anime crossover. I mean, there weren't any characters added. They added a lot of like customization and you know, a pass that had all that stuff in there. But I don't know. Fatal Fury looks like they're adding like 2 Fatal Fury characters, and we're also getting and Bison is coming back, who I believe is canonically dead. So I guess they're like resurrecting him somehow. He does look like a freaky zombie motherfucker in the trailer, so probably resurrecting him somehow, or he's just been gone for a really long time. After the Street Fighter 6 stuff, we got to look at Blumhouse. So they're developing a lot of games. So they've basically gone from like horror movie studio to, hey, now we're just going to do a whole bunch of video games. So they've got a whole new division that is like specifically targeting video games. We've got to look at 6 video games from them that are supposed to be coming out over the next year or two, and some that were a little bit further out. All of them look pretty fascinating. All of them look very different from each other, which I think is key. I think if you're going to be producing that many games, I think it's smart to make them seem as different from each other as possible. So I like that. After that, we got a banger. We got an absolute banger. We got a NES style, like retro style Power Rangers game called Power Rangers Readers Rewind. Now, people are going to be like, oh yeah, we got a Power Rangers game. No, we got, this is like canon to the world, okay? So basically the Power Rangers, I think it's like 35-year anniversary happened last year, or it was like this year. I actually don't remember when I watched it, but they did the 35th anniversary Power Rangers episode, and they addressed like a character who died, like an actress who died in real life, so the character's never returned. Well, they finally killed that character off in canon, so there's like a reason that they haven't been in all the like anniversaries and stuff like that. But they also introduced a new character called Robo Rita, who appears in this trailer. So it would make me believe that this game is somehow canon to the established universe, which is pretty cool, because a lot of the times we get these sort of like Power Ranger games, they are not canon at all. We don't get Power Ranger games often, but when we do, they're sort of like offshoots, or like, hey, this is a fun what if, or they're based on the comics, like, what is it called? It's the fighting game on console. I'm pretty sure the mobile one's called like Battle of the Grid, but I can't remember what the one on console's called. But that's like based off the comic universe, where like one of the Rangers goes bad and then starts hunting down other Rangers from different universes. It's a really cool comic run. If you're a Power Rangers fan, definitely read Shattered Grid. It's freaking amazing. But yeah, so this is like the first game that I can think of that seems to be pulling from established canon, and I think that's really cool. Considering, like, if you're a Power Rangers fan, it doesn't look like there's a show on the horizon anytime soon. There was supposed to be one coming to Netflix, but that deal's fallen through, so now Hasbro's trying to reboot and bring it back. Honestly, I think eventually... So, oh man, I'm going on a tangent here, and I don't mean to. But effectively what happened was Hasbro bought Power Rangers, and Power Rangers is adapted from a Japanese show called Super Sentai. So what basically happened was, to keep it super cheap in America, they would film the stuff out of costume, and any time there was a fight or like a monster fight, a Megazord fight, they would use the Japanese footage, and they would just dub over the top of it. So they did that forever. And then Disney bought it, did the same thing. Saban bought it back, did the same thing. And then Hasbro bought it, and then they decided to film everything. They filmed fights, costumes, all that stuff. Basically created their own team. But also sort of used the costumes from the series before, which was adapted from the Sentai. But basically, they did their own thing. And then they were like, guess what? We're going to do our own series. It's going to come to Netflix. It's going to be this, going to be that. That deal has fallen through. No one knows why yet. It's very confusing, but that deal's fallen through. So I feel like it's going to get shelved for a little bit, but I can definitely see Hasbro waking up to themselves in a couple of years' time and realizing, you know, it's probably a lot cheaper for us to just keep using the Japanese footage, and that'll probably bring it back. But it's nice to know that we're still going to get video games in the meantime, because there's no show on the horizon anytime soon. So it was nice to see a video game. Because, yeah, man, the Power Rangers... The whole license has fallen in the ass. Like, they had these awesome action figures that are basically gone. They had like the comics, which is coming to an end. Like the TV show, they did their own original show, and then you watch it and it messes with canon so much. And then they're like, yeah, we're setting up for something big, and now it's just fallen flat on its face and we've got nothing. So Reader's Rewind looks cool. Can't wait for it. After that, we got a look at Mecha Break, which I'm going to say we didn't get a look at Mecha Break. That was when we got our first commercial, because that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like a... Because we've seen Mecha Break so many times before, and this just felt like Mecha Break. Here's the date. You knew that already. Moving on with the show. After that, we got the release date for the first Descendant. I was so excited for the first Descendant. There's a preview up on the YouTube channel right now. Check it out. It's lots of fun. It's about 40 minutes. It's fun. It's great. It's basically a third-person, sexy Korean Destiny looter shooter, and it's awesome. And we got the release date July 2nd, so cannot wait. I'm very excited for that. Then we got like, I'm gonna call this a shadow drop. It's not really, it's a shadow stuff. We got to look at the Alan Wake 2 Night Springs DLC, which is 3 different stories from 3 different characters that we know before. So the first one is a character from Alan Wake 2. It's this diner chick. The second one is Sean Astin. No, his name's not Sean. It might be Sean Astin. Wait, Sean Astin's the one from Lord of the Rings. Sean Astin, I think, is the one from... I don't know. But it's basically the main character from Quantum Break, which was, like, the game they did earlier on. It's the Xbox game that incorporated an actual real TV show that was actually pretty decent. That was a time. Remember when Xbox did cool shit like that? That was time. And then the third one...
I don't know if it was, like, perfect, but it was innovative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was different. It was, it started a conversation, and I feel like that's what these games do. Like, that's what they do. And then we got the third one, which is basically, hey, I'm just going to call it what it is. This is the prologue to whatever Control does next. Like, that's basically what it is. So that was cool. The first part dropped basically after the show, so we'll call it a little shadow drop. Then after that, we got the most boring, unnecessary, disappointing thing. We got to look at Skate. We got a really cool little ad that I thought, oh, that's really cool. We're going to transition into gameplay. And we did transition into gameplay, and by God, do I wish we didn't. Because we get this dumb little thing in the corner that says pre-alpha. If you're not ready to show anything, don't bother showing anything. EA is putting no money into this game. This game is still so many years away. If this game releases in the next 3 years, I guarantee you it's going to top out at a 6, and at a low it's going to get a 4, because it just does not look appealing at all at the moment. I don't think they remembered what made the games great, and I don't think they really know how to showcase something that they themselves don't even think is ready. I think it was there because EA said they needed something on the show, and Iron Man's definitely not ready, and people would come for them if that wasn't ready. They're definitely not doing anything else with their own IP. Respawn's not doing anything right now that's like ready to be shown. I can guarantee that. Apex is like, hey, we just dropped a new season, we got nothing to show. show, and nobody gives a flying F about FC 9, 20, 70, 40, 50, whatever the hell is the new football game that they got going on. So Skate got rolled in and just should have rolled straight back out. Straight back out.
I wonder if EA's trying to like make us think we don't want it, like as in, like you know what I mean? Like, oh, everyone's been craving Skate, and they're like, we'll show you. You shouldn't have been craving Skate. Here it is. And it's it. I don't know. It just feels like they don't want to make it. The publisher, that is. The people making the game are passionate, to be fair. But I just think there's only 7 of them.
Dude, the people making the game, I feel, right? I think that I think 2 weeks before Summer Games Fest, EA rolled in and said, by the way, you've got a trailer. We just paid the 30 grand to have it on the show. You better get the trailer ready. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They're like, shit, we've got nothing. Let's film something. Let's film this office thing. We'll do it in the office. It'll be great. It'll be funny. And then we'll show gameplay. What are we going to show for gameplay? Let's just get every developer we have on here. Let's get all 12 of us together and we'll just skate down a single road. Let's do it, guys. That's what it felt like. Oh, man. Then we got something that people like, this is the biggest announcement of Summer Games, and other people being like, yeah, okay. We got our first look at Valorant coming to console. Oh my God, stop the presses. It's crazy.
I think it's a good announcement. Like, I think that's a perfect announcement for this sort of show.
And I agree, but I think they thought it was going to slap way more than it did, because the trailer was 40 minutes long.
Yeah, there's a big difference between Valorant and, say, PUBG or DayZ back in the day coming to console, because Valorant can run, I don't know, like Valorant can run on like on computers that aren't like necessarily gaming computers. You know what I mean? Like you can get it running on hardware that's a bit more accessible. It's like League of Legends, right? Like your school laptop can run League of Legends.
Yeah.
So if they announce League of Legends for console, that would be a big deal. But anyone that's desperate to play League of Legends has probably had a crack at it. And I feel like Valorant's not far behind. It might be a step up, to be fair, but I think most people that want to play Valorant are on it. So it coming to console, great. No complaints. I love it. You know, games coming to more consoles, always a good thing.
I mean, I'll play it on console.
But when DayZ came to console, like computers could barely run DayZ. I don't think the consoles could run DayZ, to be honest. But like, I feel like that was more of a big deal. You know, opened it up to players that you know their school laptops weren't running DayZ. So I think it's a big deal, but I think you're right. I think you're right. It's an interesting one, but definitely good that it's coming out on console.
Honestly, the way they showed it made me think that they thought it was going to be like, holy shit, stop the presses. We need to write this article right now. Thank God this trailer is going for a couple of hours, because we need to write this really fast and get it up. But I mean, yeah, that's fine. Then we got an actual. Ooh, yes, hello.
I was going to say, I just looked up the minimum specs for Valorant. And it'll run on an Intel HD 4000, which was the CPU integrated graphics card in my school laptop back in the day. So
Valorant's running on everything anyway.
Yeah, but look, it's going to be low frame rate, low specs, but so you come to console is a cool thing, but it's just like I think the reason the announcement fell a little bit flat is because like the audience that wants to play Valorant is very much already playing Valorant.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, yeah, anyway, carry on.
Then we got an actual cool announcement. So the guys from Out Among Us, Intersloth, came out and announced Outer Sloth, which is basically them being like, hey, you guys loved Among Us. We made a fuck ton of money. So we're going to use that treasure trove we have over at the sloth habitat. I don't know what a sloth habitat's called, or I would call it that. And we are going to like throw some of that money to some indie developers out there who are creating absolute fucking bangers. And then they dropped a sizzle reel full of some like games that I actually have played and love. Like Oh my god! Like there's like, oh man, it was so cool. So like Mars logistics game that looks sick. So obviously they're helping them like develop more of that. There's a game called Battle Chef. They're working on a new game which is like a roguelike card game which looks freaking awesome. All these games look sick. Super cool that Interslot's doing that. I think that is an announcement that deserves to be on the show and be praised. I just think it was like, it's crazy you put that after Valorant. That feels like such a big deal. It's crazy you put that after Valorant. After that, we got to look at Dune Awakening, where we find out that Dune Awakening is effectively a what-if game. So it's not on the canon timeline of the Dune universe. It is basically, what if Paul Atreides was not born? What happens? Like, what happens to the Dune universe if the Messiah was never a thing? So that's cool. I like that a lot, because I think the one thing that would have killed that game was if it came out, it's like we're just retreading Dune 1 and Dune 2 before they do Dune, I forget what they're going to call the third one, but it's based off the second book. Yeah, when they do the next Dune. So I like that. It's like a what if scenario. I wish more games based on licenses did this sort of stuff. I think that would be super cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah, like what do you do if the main character isn't born? Like how does the world change? That's sick. Then we got to look at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Looks great. Honestly, like I can't fault it. It looks good. It looks like more.
I enjoyed that trailer a lot.
It's weird to say that it looks like more of the same, but elevated. You know what I mean? Like,
I kind of missed the first one, to be honest.
Oh, okay, fair. Well, mate, you can.
I was watching that and I was like, it's kind of cool. I don't know if I liked it for the same reasons as other people might have liked it, but yeah, it's cool.
Then we're gonna look at
Game Pass.
Oh yeah, that's a Game Pass game for sure.
That's a Game Pass game right there.
So we're gonna look at Slitherhead. Looks fine. Then we got to look at Delta Force Hawk Ops, which it looks fine. We'll probably play it once if we don't have to pay for it. And then they announced they're doing a campaign mode base of Black Hawk Down, which is really cool if you've watched Black Hawk Down. Then we got to look.
I just want to say, like, I didn't hate anything I saw for that game.
Yep.
But it's also like 10 years ago, I think I would have been the target audience for a game like that.
Yeah.
I would have been hammering for that. I think I've just evolved with the player, so I'm like in that weird state where I'm like, I know I would like that, but I don't know if I will get that. You know what I mean? Like, it just I don't know if I have enough time to allocate to that game. But 10 years ago, mate, I would have been. You would have been
frothing in the mouth for that one.
Rolling over that. Yeah, for sure.
Then we got to look at GTA Killer Bean. Looked great. I'm surprised it exists. I can't believe it exists. I don't know why they're keeping the bean alive, but my god, some of the shit they pulled off in the trailer just looks so funny that it's like one of those things where it's like, well, I gotta try this piece of shit. So I look forward to trying that. Then we're gonna look at a game that I'm actually super excited about, even though I've really been shitting on this genre. I think we're finally, you know how like we get games, it's like we get tons of BRs. And then we get something that just like takes the BR game and turns it on its head. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, PUBG, H1Z1. You know, we got the Warzone, the Blackout, and then Apex is like, hey, what if you could move like Jesus Christ? And you're like, my God, battle royales will never be the same. And it's great. It's awesome. I think Wonderstop is going to be that for farming sims. So basically you're working in a little tea house, you go outside and you do all this other stuff, but then suddenly the trailer takes this turn of like the main character has experienced something. They're having like PTSD. What the hell is going on? You know what I mean? I like that. I like that aspect, that taking like every farming sim is like, oh, this is Mary Jo. She's new to the island. Let's introduce her to everybody, right? But this protagonist seems to be like, yo, this is Mary Jo. She's fucked up right now. Let's introduce her to everybody and have her make tea. Because she's clearly got something going on. And I was just like, another tea. But when that little bit at the end happened where she closes her eyes and it suddenly feels like she's having some sort of like dramatic re-experiencing of something traumatic, I was like, oh shit. Maybe this is gonna turn it on its head and be like sick as hell. So yeah, that looked cool. I'm not gonna lie. We're coming to the end of the show, so clearly we're gonna have some bangers, right?
Was this in order? Everything you've said right now is in order, right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize the Alan Wake 2 thing was so in the middle.
Yeah, it was like the midpoint of the show. I would have left that to the end. Personally,
I would have made that my last thing as well.
that would have been my last thing.
I think Horizon first made sense, but yeah, I would have put Alan Wake last for sure.
Alan Wake was definitely my last thing.
As a compliment to Alan Wake.
Honestly, yeah. Well, these last three things definitely should be at the towards the end, but I have a personal order for them. But next, we're going to look at Monster Hunter Wilds. Another trailer, another look at a little bit of gameplay, and another, hey, we'll have more later. Basically, we're going to have more later. Very surprised to see it, considering the last time we seen it was at the Game Awards. It was announced. It looked amazing. And he very specifically said, we are hoping to have more information for you guys next December. So the fact that we've seen it, crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's the second time we'd seen it during Summer Games, because it was also at the State of Play, where it got basically a shorter trailer, but the exact same trailer that we got at the Summer Games Fest. But the Summer Games Fest one had a bit more gameplay, a bit more explanation of what's going on. And then, yeah, Old Mate comes out. We'll have more soon. Get excited. Like, okay, cool, awesome. Then we got to look at Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess. Oh, man, I butchered it, but I tried. Yeah, I feel like it was the problem with this game. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna enjoy it. You know, I love all that shit. I live for that shit. My problem is the trailer we got looks exactly the same as every trailer we've gotten for this game. I can't tell what they're showing us is like, I don't see anything different from trailer to trailer. I feel like we're seeing the same area, like the same moveset, the same attacks. I'm probably dead wrong, but it just looks the same. So hopefully it comes out soon, so we don't have to watch any more trailers on it, and we can just enjoy it. And then, yeah, the one more thing was Phantom Blade Zero. Just another Souls game. It looks great. Like, it looks gorgeous. It looks really cool. Enemy variety looks great. There's sexy women throwing swords around. Looks really good. But yeah, like I said, I think I would have gone Path of the Goddess, Phantom Blade Zero, Monster Hunter Wilds, and then I would have ended with the Alan Wake 2 DLC. Because I think showing, you know, the chick from Control, the guy from Quantum Break, here's the waitress. By the way, you can play it right now after the show. Also, physical games are dying, but not for Alan Wake. We're doing a physical copy of Alan Wake. There'll be deluxe editions of this game available everywhere soon. We're also doing a collector's edition, but we're not going to tell you it's through limited run right now because we know that'll piss you off. But everybody, we had a great time. I hope you had a good show. Catch you guys later. That would have been a way better ending to the show, I think. I think it would have been a lot more hype. But yeah, I'm not in charge because Jeff will not return my emails. So yeah, that was Summer Games Fest. Mate, what are you going to score that bad boy out of 10? Give me the score.
Just quickly though, did we miss Battle Aces? Was that at this show or another show?
Battle Aces was... Oh yeah, Battle Aces was at this show. Oh, dude. Yeah, that's the RTS game. Oh, I think I left it off the list because it looked good. That's probably why it wasn't there.
Because I haven't actually... There's way more info's come out about it, and I have not had time to like really look into it. But it has 10-minute games. Like the matches end after 10 minutes. Oh. So it comes across as like baby's first RTS.
You tell me that makes me think, oh fuck, it's gonna be on mobile. Like you just saying that makes me think, oh man, this is gonna be a mobile game.
Oh gee, I hope not. It's on Steam wishlist, I'm pretty sure. Like it's definitely coming to PC. But I'm quite excited for that game. I think it'll be a good... Like, I feel like playing an RTS, but I don't have time at the moment. You know, jump into that one. Hopefully Stormgate's a bit more of a medium game.
I was just going to say, right? Stormgate is the game you play on the weekend. Battle Aces is the game you play when you have to get up early for work the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think there's a place for Battle Aces, and I just wanted to acknowledge that game was there, and it's cool.
That game looked freaking awesome. I'm not going to lie. Don't know how I missed that.
Question, what do I score? Was that the original question?
Yes, sir. We are giving them a score. We're scoring. This is an official review.
Comment on...
Official one-up review.
I think it's one of those things where, like, they've already confirmed coming back next year, right? And there's no way they can predict how. Like, even Jeff himself can't predict what next year's show is going to be like because it's up to the people that want to show their shit, right? So I think with the content he had this year, I think the show was well-paced, well-structured, maybe flailed a little bit in the last half an hour, but I won't diss that too much. Like, it's you know, it's hard to fill a 2-hour show. So I think the structure of the show deserves a lot of credit, but just given my taste in content, I'd probably give it a 6, 7, somewhere in there, maybe 6.5, if that's a score we can give.
Yeah, on
but I don't.
scale.
But I don't.
I like it.
Yeah, but like I don't want to criticize like the structure and the pacing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the trailers were solid. Even the games that weren't for me, we didn't linger too long either. You know what I mean? Like we were sort of burning through things. So, you know, there wasn't the ads were probably a little too well disguised sometimes, but the ads were weren't too painful except for maybe that one that went for 7 minutes. We had 2 hosts this year, which I thought was great as well. Jump between hosts. So I do think there was a lot of positives in the structure, and I hope like if people are giving it a low score, I hope that's not taken as they need to fix something. It's just a case of like what's available to show that year. You know what I mean? Like if next year they reveal like a Halo or something, and the show was structured exactly how it was this week, I'd give it a 10.
Yep.
Because Halo's there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when I give it a 6.5, a 7, maybe a 6, somewhere in there, it's not a criticism of the show itself. It's just a case of there wasn't a lot for me. But yeah, it was a fine show. I'm glad I watched it. Yeah. How do you feel about it overall?
On the 1-up scale, I give it a 6. It was fun. There's a lot of stuff there that is like right up my alley that speaks to me. But again, I think it would be a lower score if he hadn't set expectations before going in. He did a very good job of being like, there's no one more thing. We're looking at a lot of titles we already know about. There are some announcements, but it's a lot of updates. Please don't expect anything groundbreaking. So going in, expecting what I was expecting, solid show. Like, paced pretty well. 2 hosts great. He wasn't on screen a lot, so that was great. I don't know, when he's on screen, he tends to be cringe. Not because, like, I feel like if me and him, I feel like if me and him sat down and had a conversation, we'd walk away, we'd be the best of friends. But the problem is every time he's up on stage and he's talking to someone, it always feels fake. You know what I mean? And of course it's going to be fake. They've rehearsed this 4 times before getting up here, but it never in that rehearsal. Clearly, the rehearsals are just making sure they say their lines properly because it never feels natural. So I appreciate when it's just trailer. Hey, here's this. He's off stage. Trailer.
It's just hard though because like some of the unscripted game awards and stuff got really out of hand. So I can understand why he would rather script the fuck out of it. Like you can sort of see how he's gotten here, you know?
Yeah, I see how he got here, but I would say those unscripted game awards are some of the better award shows because you actually go away thinking about it. You know what I mean? You go away remembering it. You know? But yeah, for me, it's a 6. Doesn't mean it's a bad show. Like on the 1-up scale, I believe 6 is a good. I need to redo that scale. But on the 1-up scale, it's like a good. Like, I think it was good.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
And I think when you said he set expectations, in a way, I think he said too much. Like the key bit of information was a lot of updates about games we know. That was the critical key line for me. It's like, okay, cool, good to know going in.
Yeah.
The no one more thing was probably another good thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Him rating his own show an 8 out of 10 before we watched it, that was a little cringy.
Like, he's a cringe lord, man. He's a cringe lord. Well, that is our review for Summer Games Fest. He really does. He really does. But yeah, that's our review for Summer Games Fest. It was a very good show. Now, let's...